Hey guys, what is going on? It is your friendly neighborhood Zebraman, and welcome to the first episode of how I would book the WWE 2016 brand split. Now in this episode I'm going to be talking about who I think are going to be the GMs of each brand, what titles will be on each brand, and what teams will be on each brand. So let's begin. So first things first, let's talk about the owners. Now, it's been teased who's going to be running Raw and who's going to be running Smackdown, and from what it looks as if Shane is going to be running Smackdown. It's leaning towards Shane running Smackdown, which is good. And that would obviously mean that Stephanie would run Raw, but thankfully it's not an authority situation. There isn't the authority. Maybe it'll come back, but for now, Stephanie's good. Stephanie is good, Shane is good, it's all good. Next, let's move on to the titles. Now, I like to have three options for this because the titles are kind of in a toss-up right now. We don't know what's going to happen. So I have three options and I'm going to go through them now. So option one. Option one is what I like to call floating. So floating means that the titles on each brand will be floating bar the US and IC championships. So that would mean that the WWE championship, Roman Reigns of course, would be on two brands. The US title, so Rusev would be on Raw, and the IC champion, The Miz, would be on SmackDown. So that's pretty simple. And then the tag teams would fight on each brand in the same way that the World Championship is a floating championship. The New Day would go between the two brands. Then we move on to the Women's Championship, and that's also the same. That flows between the two brands. So each of those championships are stuck on both brands, bar the two mid-card titles. The second option, which is actually pretty self-explanatory, is floating world championship. So that means that Roman Reigns, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, will be the only person to float between the two brands, which means he's a Raw and SmackDown superstar. Other than that, the US title will go to Raw, IC will go to SmackDown, and then we get interesting with the rest of the titles. So a lot of people suggested, hey, just have the tag team titles float too, and the Women's Championship, because it's too much of a hassle trying to split those divisions, and that's where I think you're wrong. I think that this is a great opportunity to split the tags and the women, and well, instead of splitting the women, I have a different option here, but the tag team titles in particular, you could split it and bring back the World Tag Team Championships, and I've made an image up here now of what they would look like in the modern day. I think they look great, and to split them up, I do have a list here, and it mightn't seem like a lot, but I have 13 superstars for each roster, so that's 26 people in the tag team division altogether, and I think that the split is okay. It's fine to split them if there's only 13 on the roster, and of course, there'll be new tag teams coming up, and there'll be new tag teams forming, there'll be tag teams breaking up, so there is a lot of stuff to go on in the tag team division. There's a lot of people there already. The tag team division is looking pretty full compared to what it was at one point. And I think that splitting it up wouldn't be such a bad idea. And I'd be interested because this is supposed to be two distinct rosters, okay? Two different shows. I don't think that floating is really an option for these titles because it just will come out like a mess. So there you go. The penny belts as they look, and the World Tag Team Championships, good stuff. Next, we move on to the Women's Championship. Now, this one might be a bit controversial to say, but I believe that the Women's Championship should be put on Raw. All the women should stay on Raw, and then SmackDown have the cruiserweights. Now, I've made up an image you can see on the screen of the brand new Cruiserweight Championship belt. Now, you might say, hey, how can you fit all the women onto the Raw roster and still have the other divisions like the US title and the WWE Championship without them being too minor? Well, there actually isn't that many women, and I imagine you could fit the amount of cruiserweights that there are on the SmackDown roster and then balance it out against the women on the other roster. So I think that's a good idea. SmackDown takes the Cruiserweight Championship, Raw takes the Women's Championship. I feel like there is enough for the division. I mean, there's a lot of divas out there, a lot of women. So I do think that it's a viable option, and Cruiserweight, that could come back. And I mean, the Cruiserweight Classic's happening this summer. Crazy stuff will be going on. I wouldn't doubt them bringing back the Cruiserweight Championship, but if they were, I think it would look a bit like this, or maybe they'll bring back a whole new title. We don't know. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy the video, smash the like button, tell your friends about it. This is it's a long time in the making, this one here. I'm very excited about the brand split. If you are, tell your friends, tell two friends, and tell two friends to tell two friends about this. And yeah, so guys, next episode we'll be talking about more stuff to do with the brand split, more divisions, more roster stuff, more mid-card stuff, more main event title stuff, you know. But anyway guys, I've made a couple of videos on the brand split. I've made 3 of them actually, and they're all going to be on the screen right now. Make sure to check it out, and until next time, I've been your friendly neighborhood Zebraman. Peace.